yeah. You better tune in. Facts with Reem'o. Get ready.
And it's feeling like everything turned pain into games. Now we're popping champagne. It's feeling like
Yeah, so nonetheless, definitely a very interesting topic that we're going to have the ladies talk about the everlasting, or just happening, rather, stripper strike, New York City stripper strike. So nonetheless, we're going to turn to the ladies and hear what they have to say about this strike.
Well, I guess T Honey, you go first.
Well, hey, if you guys don't know, I'm Tanaris, aka T Honey, bartender. There are a lot of like mixed emotions and feelings about this whole topic right now. Basically, the strippers and the bartenders are having conflict because the strippers feel like they're not really getting the spotlight that they deserve, or the money, or so on and so forth. But me as a bartender, I mean, I'm trying to get the money, but at the same time, I do understand where they're coming from. I do understand that they would also like to have that platform that a lot of our bartenders are getting as well. So it's a slippery slope because, for example, you know, we're on social media, we're promoting, you know, a lot of these top bartenders have up to over 1 million followers. So it's kind of a business move to have these girls come in and have their followings come in and all their customers, and they're throwing the money. But a lot of the strippers are like, you know, you're here for us because this is a strip club. So there's a lot going on regarding that.
You know, it's really interesting to watch how business models are changing because of technology, and you know, it's even interesting to see it happen within the strip clubs. I mean, if these girls didn't do the social media the way they did, they wouldn't have the value that they have.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So it's interesting to watch how it's affecting everything. You know, I like the mere fact that there's conversations about the union, you know, as far as, I guess, everybody kind of understanding each other's roles and how the money, because bottom line, it is a business.
It is.
But, you know, we talked earlier, and I just feel like we really need to start focusing on ownership.
Right.
You know, because, you know, we are the supporters of this culture. You know, at the end of the day, it's a lifestyle.
It is.
Whether people admit it or not, it's a lifestyle. So if we owned part of that lifestyle, then that some of this would not go on.
I feel like a lot of controversy and opinions about this is really the race situation.
Okay.
Where a lot of the bars are not hiring African American women.
Right.
Now, is that something that the owner should be choked up and like, you know, what are you doing, beat him up? Maybe not, because the owners really don't really decide who gets to work there all the time. They like to leave it up to the promoters.
Right.
So when there's an event, whoever's behind the bar, the promoters are bringing them in.
Right.
So whatever look they or feel they want, that's what's going to be behind the bar. You know, a lot of the times I walk in and everyone looks the same. Everyone, you know, the straight black hair, you know, light skin or caramel skin. It's like but that's what the promoter likes to see, and that's what he's going to bring in.
Okay.
And it's, you know,
well,
it's crazy.
I feel that it's such a, I mean, this topic is so, it's so difficult to really like pinpoint certain things, but just like T said with like race, and I feel like that is a huge problem, but for women that look like me, if you are going to establishments or any type of corporation that does not accept you, stop going. It's that simple. Stop. If you have to, and I understand, I'm not saying that everything's easy just to stop what you're doing as if like, oh, you can just do that tomorrow. But I mean, as far as if someone, like I've been told ugly. I've been told that I'm ugly. I've been told that I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't go forward. But did that stop me? I mean, I'm sitting here with everybody. You know what I mean? I'm here on TV. So it's like, you know, if you have to make your path, you can't keep allowing people to tell you that you can't do this, and then you keep going back to the same establishment, the same corporation, the same job. And if they're not giving you what you want, you have to go make your own. You have to go create it. So
your opportunity.
And here's the other thing, you know, as someone that's really about female empowerment, like what I don't like is what you were talking about earlier, I call it the Stepford wives, but it's these drones. Like everybody has to look the same to be a definition of beauty, and that's furthest from the truth. And you know, I think sometimes it's on the onus of the women ourselves, you know, to really celebrate who we are. I mean,
Exactly.
I have been playing with the whole natural hair challenge. Like I'm lazy. So for me, it's easy to throw on a wig and
Right.
keep
Yeah,
it moving.
exactly.
But because I'm now moving in that light, I've done pictures with a different kind of look, you know, that is so anti to what I've been
Right.
deemed of what is a polished look.
Right.
You know, so I think that conversation needs to be happening more.
Yeah.
So that they can start seeing that guys really do like that big
Yeah,
butt, that brown
exactly.
skin.
They
Exactly.
do.
You know,
They
they
do.
do.
Men
The full
love
lips,
men
they
love all
do.
of us.
Yeah.
But I feel like, you know, in certain areas, maybe, you know, certain girls weren't taught the right way or certain guys weren't taught the right way. But I feel like, you know, you have to love yourself. Like you can't keep putting yourself in predicaments and think that things are going to change. If they don't change the first time, most likely it's not going to change the 100th time.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly. And even myself, like, I'm Dominican, I'm Latina, you know, I'm what they call exotic. But you know what? I have the curly hair. I stand out like a sore thumb sometimes because I don't see that anywhere that I go because it's all the same straight, jet black or blonde, but straight and primped, and like people like different types of things. So I feel like a little more culture has to be brought into the strip club. And we were also speaking earlier, like, okay, strippers get upset because a lot of these men come to see the bartenders, but at the end of the day, step it up. You know what I'm saying? When I'm at
do
the strip
something.
club, the second I step foot in the strip club, I'm shaking this ass. I'm taking care of my customers. I'm hyping them up. I'm like, yeah, let's go, let's party. A lot of the strippers are sitting around. They, you know, I get it. The guys are not necessarily engaging, but you have to find a way. If a woman really wants to get money in this industry, there's money to be made. There's enough to go around because it's all about the energy you bring,
Right.
and people will gravitate to you, and
I
you
learned
will,
it's
you
about
know.
the fantasy. You know
It
what
is.
I mean? If you sell the fantasy,
Exactly.
you get the money.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
And it's not about anything else. I mean, you know, we talked about it earlier that,
Right.
you know, some of the biggest deals are in the strip club. And I remember
Yeah.
when I first went, it was this whole like, oh my God. And then when I went, I was like, what is all this drama about? Like, this is fun.
Right,
Like, you know what I'm
right.
saying? And so when my son turned of age, I took him. You know what I mean? Because I was like, this is real. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. But I think, you know, like what you said, I think in every business, you've got to keep the mindset that this is a business.
Yeah,
It's a
it's
business.
about getting
It's
the
a
money.
business
It's about getting
first.
the money.
And I'm glad you're touching on that because my thing is this, okay? Shouldn't one that comes into a situation, whether business, not business, or whatever have you should always understand what you're getting into.
Yeah.
Oh,
Who wants to touch on that?
You have to do your homework
You
wherever
have to do
you
your
go.
homework. Like
Yeah.
right now, I'm learning how to own my own business. You know, but I can't. My mistake would be to just jump in and just throw out my creativity. But I can't because I'm not protected. So, in order for you to survive in any industry, any business, you have to do your research. You have to know and who's around. Who could you, just in case something happens, who could you call to depend on? You know what I mean? Just like right now, the stripper and bartender, the stripper strike. Who could you call right now that maybe, you know, maybe another strip club or I don't really
You
know.
have to know the inner
how-
workings of
Yeah.
everything for sure. You have to know the inner workings. You have to
Right.
know what you do, what you don't do, who to speak to, who to stay away. You know, it's politics, really.
Exactly.
It's all politics because at the end of the day, I'm going into I'm fairly new in the bartending world. I've only been doing it a few months, but I was brought in by a good friend of mine, and I quickly just, I'm a type of person I know what the fuck's going on. Like, I know what is going on. So immediately what I noticed is, okay, all these girls are beautiful, both strippers and bartenders. What is the difference? What are men gravitating more towards here than there? And it really is about the culture, about the popularity. If you're an artist, an up and coming male artist, and you're going to the strip club and you see that this bitch is popping and she has almost 1 million followers, guess what? You're gonna fuck up some money. You might take a little Instagram video and now you're lit. Now you're hanging out with the elites of the strip club world.
Right.
Whereas the strippers, some of them want to be more on the low. Some of
Right.
them just want to come make their money, go home. They don't really want to be out there.
Right.
So to them, it's a business move. It's a business move. You're rubbing elbows with the elite of the strip club, which are the star tenders.
You know, when anybody gets into business, I always tell them, pay attention. I tell them the public enemy, don't believe the hype.
Yeah.
Really
Right.
understand the
Right.
business aspect of it, but more importantly, find a mentor. Find somebody that is getting it, that's been getting it, and ask them the real question.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And keep on looking. If that first person you go to doesn't give it to, keep on looking until you find
Yeah,
it.
provoke the
Because
research,
you know
It's a
about
shady,
learning
it's a
the
shady
curve.
little.
Oh, it is.
It
It's
can
very
be.
shady.
I mean, I've been highly blessed that the person that brought me in is a friend of mine for 15, 18 years,
Yeah,
and
you
that
got a great
she
mentor.
really tells me like
guides
that.
you through.
Like
You
your
know,
Mona
even
Scott.
with
She's
jobs
like
that
your
I
Mona
get,
Scott.
she's my Mona Scott because sometimes even opportunities. I will say the name I will not bring up, guys.
Facts.
But there are artists, established artists, that have reached out to me to do certain projects, and she's like, "Listen, don't because of A, B, and C. He might be an artist but you don't want that type of
Yeah, you don't want that
spotlight.
reputation.
You don't want that. Just
don't
don't,
want that
even
heat.
deal. Exactly. Don't deal with that person. And you know what I do? Okay, no problem. It is because, like you said, you have to really
You have to
know
have that
what you're
mentor.
doing, and that mentor will guide you. And I've been blessed that I have her in my life to sort of
And
guide me
here's
through.
the other thing that I really, again, when you learn and you really know it, pass it forward. But pass
Oh,
it
yeah.
forward to the one that's worthy.
Right.
I think one of the
Strategic.
biggest...
You can't drop
I
jewels
think-
to everyone.
Yeah, you can't. And I think that that's a big mistake that we as women continue to do. And then what happens is we give more information to the enemy than we do to the people that are really trying to empower.
Right.
And so, it's this whole... The ones that are sincere about it fall
Right.
back.
Right.
Because the ones
Right.
that are just about them
Yeah.
go forward. You know what I mean? And we really need to identify that. Like,
It's
nah,
true.
that one ain't about it. Let that one learn on their own.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think the most thing too, just to add a little tidbit, is listening. I feel like the more if you have someone that's telling you something, listen and take that advice. You know what I mean? Instead of just like, oh well, she doesn't know. Or sometimes it's a little catty between women too. Like, oh, I don't want to hear what you gotta say. I'm gonna go listen to her. But that other one that's really gunning for you is gonna tell you something that's not really gonna help you.
I fall victim to that so many times because, like I said, I really am about helping people.
Right.
And so I'll get, oh, she's phony, oh, she's fake, oh, she thinks she knows it all. No. I just want to share what I know to be
Of
true.
course.
Right.
And whether or not you want to accept it or not, that's on you. But
Right.
I'm
Right.
going to give it to you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I've learned to tone that down. Like, I only give it to those that I know really want it.
And we'll appreciate.
Exactly.
We're not over here wasting saliva
Right.
on
Because
people
you
who
know
don't
what
deserve
had
it.
happened one time I told somebody the honest truth about a certain situation. They went back to those people.
Oh, of course.
And told them what I said. And
Yeah.
like, I'm somebody, I'll say it straight to your face. I ain't got a problem.
Right.
But the mere fact that she did that made me say like, wow, boo-boo, I was trying to show you. So now
Right.
you're going to learn. 6 months later, she came back to me and she said, I wish I had listened. And I said, oh, well, sucks to be you.
And then
I
full
was
circle.
hardcore with it. I
Yep.
said, sucks
That's
to
what
be
you gotta.
and
You
I'm
gotta
not
be
bailing
Lil
you
Kim
out,
after
boo.
that.
Do you? I'm not bailing you out.
Right. Well, back to the stripper situation.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
thought
that's-
that I had in my mind that it sort of slipped because I have a little ADD. I forget things I'm trying to say. So regarding the money, I feel like what was the epicenter of this was that certain clubs were shut down that have these women that have 1 million followers and they're getting so much money. This place shuts down. All these girls are now going to these other clubs where the girls are not used to making or seeing that type of money in this said club.
Right.
So when they're stripping and they see that the guys are spending 2 to 3 racks on the strippers and they're looking around like, where's my money?
Right.
Like, so it was like that culture, that explosion of money that was being made in said place was now, it was on the spotlight now. It was under the microscope to these other smaller or less popular clubs. And the girls are like, wait, but I'm not making any money. Why? Because these girls have 1 million followers on IG.
Right.
The guys come out to see them, and it's like you said, it's the fantasy. Promoters, they're the ones that bring out the girls, but you also can't be mad at them because it's
Right.
like it's supply and demand.
On top, now I'm feeling